we want to take all those considerations into play, right? Reporting, documentation, ownership, prompting the system to let our team know internally what to do next. So that way we can make sure that it gets documented someplace. Some folks like to put these as notes because the notes have historical searching on them. Some folks like tags. I'm a really big fan of tags because tags are actionable, right? When this tag gets applied, this can start or stop automation. So if our vision is to have our internal side fill in to an external facing automation, like a review, a testimonial, or an upsell, right? This tag helps us with that. If we're just looking for historical documentation, things to just be there for us to go search and make sure that we have, the note accomplishes that because we can tell us in the description within a note exactly explicitly what happened, right? Now, another question people have is length. How long do I need it to be? Well, it's as long as you want it to be, really. If you need to have 57 steps in here, we can have, all of them in here. If we just want to leave it just this task notification and you don't care about any of those other steps because that's too complicated, that's cool too. There's no right or wrong. It's how we, it's in your vision as to how we execute on this. Okay. Any final thoughts on the onboarding process internally? Would anybody like to be used as kind of like a guinea pig, and we can kind of map their onboarding and what their sequence would be looking like?
I will, but you're going to have to give me a lot of guidance.
No worries. It might help out the other folks on the call, right? So, all right, let's delete all this stuff, right, and start fresh. So, just give everybody else a little context on Tammy's business. It is very intimate. We're talking about very expensive, very powerful, and really amazing medical equipment to help recovery and rehabilitation for horses, for dogs, for humans. It's aqua based, so it's very low impact, high resistance. It's an amazing piece of technology that has been changing lives, right? So their sales process is a little special. This is what we're going to call it.
Right.
I think that's fair, right, Tammy?
I believe this.
Awesome. So let's go. Let's zoom out. Let's see what happened. Okay, so let's keep this for the human side, right? So they bought a piece of recovery equipment. They just got sent out the invoice. They accepted and they paid. Awesome. What do we need to know internally when they paid?
Maybe rather they paid in full, they just paid the 50% deposit.
Okay, so verify the conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's going to be their sales rep going in and checking out that invoice and verifying those details, right?
Right.
So in this example, we would say, please go review invoice and update documentation, right? Pretty straightforward. Is there
Okay.
any other action that we would have them do?
Yeah, the sales rep also needs to, we need to make sure we also have the signed contract, and then we also need a signed drawing.
And assigned what? I'm sorry, what was the second one?
Drawing. Like blueprint.
Anything else?
We also need to know when they expect delivery.
Okay.
Let's just start with those.
Okay. Do they have to do all of these all at the exact same time, or can they do this in stages?
We can do it in stages.
Does-
But the first two things that have to come through is the deposit, whether it's 50% or 100%, and then the signed contract. Those are the first two.
we're gonna do this like this. We're gonna break this up a little bit. So we gotta make one of these. Verify purchase, please go to update documentation, make sure deposit is applicable, right? So I believe that's good for the first one. And with this one, we could say, hey, make sure the contract's signed, make sure they got a blueprint, a drawing signed, right? And update that expected delivery date, right?
Well, the contract and the money comes in first.
Okay.
And then after that, then we do the drawing.
Gotcha.
And the expected delivery date can be really most any time.
Right. Okay.
I guess I'm basing, well, never mind. Yeah, if they purchase, this is what we have to have.
Come back that one in a second here.
Oh, and I guess one more important thing is that we have to have the readiness report from them when it's ready to ship.
Okay. Does that come here at this process or after?
After.
Okay, so we'll have to add that in further down, right? All right. And then this would be like an other, right? And then in the task outcomes for this one, it's really to make sure that they complete everything here or they don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the task outcomes, it would be, basic, right? We would just have complete or not complete.
Okay.
So complete. Not complete. And that way you have your natural track. Did they get it done or did they not get it done?
Okay.
Assign that to your sales rep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your backup would be your sales manager, right? So let's just say Ian here is ours. This would be the person that this task would get assigned to after 7 days of no actions actually happening. So if your rep didn't take care of business and for whatever reason, right, this person would then get the notification. So that way that contact doesn't just fall through the cracks.
Okay.
Notify owner, that's going to email your contacts owner, your sales rep, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the test got created. So that's definitely cool. Definitely want to use that. We don't really mess with days until due at because this will delay the test to be created, but we want this to pop up immediately, right? So we're going to leave those blank. Please
Okay.
select the user to notify. This would be like if you wanted to update your sales manager that this task came through, that's how you would use that. But most of the time people just leave it blank, right? We're updating the person who needs to do it, right?
Okay.
Pop-up reminders, this is if it was delayed. This will pop up before it's due, but since it's due immediately, all it's going to do is pop up a really annoying box up in your screen that's going to keep over and over and over. Not a fan. I suggest you just leave it blank.
Okay.
Okay? And the last part is priority. You do have to select one of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you make this one essential. Your criticals are for your fires, your upset folks, right?
Okay.
So because if we make everything critical, then nothing's critical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it's something like this that they have to do, we bake that into their mind. That's essential. That is part of your job, right?
Okay.
And that's all. That's a test. That's how we track and document that internal function that we're doing every single time right now. But now we're documenting it, which means we can report on it. We can build automation off of it, right?
Mm-hmm.